Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all well. So I've got a fun one for you today in this video. Surely you guys are aware of Soldano amplification. If you're not, do yourself a favour and look them up. This is the Soldano SLO Mini head. Now, if you've been watching my channel a little while, I also did a video of the Bogner Ecstasy Mini head, which was a really great amplifier, really surprised me. Well, if you imagine basically the same idea, but with the SLO from Soldano. You should be able to see some close-ups, but basically it's directly inspired by the SLO 100. So in terms of the sound of the amplifier, it's very similar. That's what they've gone for. It's designed around the overdrive and the crunch section of the SLO, so you don't have a clean, but you do have the crunch and the overdrive, and they're modeled very specifically to the real amp. It's 30 watts solid state. It's got an effects loop, which is really cool, so you can obviously put your favorite effects in the effects loop, of course. It powers a cab, of course, and also you can run the effects send as a line out into your interface like I'm doing in this video. Comes with a power adapter, which is 24 volts, and other than that you've got a couple of different switches than you do to the real amp, because obviously you don't have the clean channel. You've got the normal and the overdrive switch, but then you've also got a normal and a deep switch. Now, because there's no depth control on the mini head, they've put it on a switch, so you get a little bit more of a low-end resonance by putting that switch down. But you also have a presence control, which is cool, and outside of that it's your classic sort of gain, bass, middle and treble and master. But in this video, what I wanted to do, since I've got an SLO 100, I figured why not hear them back to back, so we can actually hear the 30 watt mini head version and see how close it sounds to the full fat valve driven SLO 100 version. To do that, what I'm doing is running the effects send into my interface, and then I'm running the SLO into a load box into my interface, and I've loaded up the same archetype Nolly speaker preset on both, so we can hear exactly what they sound like without any sort of differentiation between tones using different speaker cabs. So other than that, it's pretty much the same, and we can just switch between them. So I'm going to use my Strat and my ML3 Beer Sig from Chapman, and we're going to hear it. I've got a Maxon OD808 in front, so we can hear it with a tube screamer, and we're just going to go through it and hear how it sounds. So without further ado, let's check out the Soldano SLO Mini head. Okay, so let's start with the Strat, do something lower gain. We're starting on the crunch channel. Everything's set to 12 o'clock, that's the bass, middle, treble and presence. However, I have run the gain right down because there is no clean channel. I wanted to start as lower gain as possible. And also the SLO 100 is set kind of similarly, everything's at 12 o'clock. We're running the crunch channel on there. I haven't got the deep switch in just yet. Outside of that, everything is good to go. Any reverb and delay you're hearing is coming from Archetype Nolly effects section. So let's check it out. Neck pickup, here is the mini head. Sounds great. Sounds really nice. It's got that, if you've ever played a real SLO, it has that kind of trickle gain effect that happens, I believe, due to the nature of the circuit being like a cascading gain stage. So you hear some of that gain trickling through, if that makes sense. Hear a very minor amount there, but what we'll do now is just quickly flip over to the actual full-sized SLO and see what it sounds like. So here's the mini head. Here is the proper full-sized SLO. Back to the mini head. They're close. I would say the mini head is darker than my SLO, but what we can do to try and match them closer is mess with the EQ a little bit. So let's go back to the full-sized head. Mini head. First thing I'm going to do is throw the deep switch in. So that's getting us closer in terms of the sort of low end response there. But what I'll do a bit further is, it sounds to me like there's a bit more mid-range, needs more presence in the mini head. So let's quickly listen to the SLO again. And the mini head. I think that's getting us pretty close. Back to the full-size head. Mini head. I have to be honest, you can actually get it really close. One thing I would say is that it's darker overall. It does sound darker. When I'm pushing the presence high, it's boosting mids as well. But overall, it's capturing the essence of the SLO, definitely. Just hearing them back to back. It's just, I think that, again, every sort of tube amp version might sound slightly different just by the nature of the technology. However, this is sort of capturing that essence. I would just say it's a little bit darker, but that's no bad thing, of course, because, you know, we can always mic things differently, change the settings of the EQ and all the rest of it. But yeah, so I've matched them as close as I think I can get them. This is the mini head. And the SLO. Okay, so we've kind of got the sort of A-B comparison out of the way with regards to, you know, the crunch channel. So let's just mess with the miniature head and get a little bit more gain out of it, I guess. I'm going to put all the controls to halfway, so the gain, keeping the deep switch in because I think that definitely works well for the comparison. But I've pushed everything back to halfway. Let's have a listen. Feels really good. Definitely feels like the SLO in terms of that sag that it has. But with everything at 12 o'clock, you're definitely hearing the darker edge of it. Doesn't sound bad, it's just darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost the gain of the SLO to match the gain at halfway of this crunch channel. Definitely more gain in the crunch of the miniature head than there is on the bigger amp. Let's add more gain to the big head. So we've added more gain to the full size, but we'll start, here's the miniature as we just heard it. And here is the full size head with more gain. So there's a big difference there, but we can mess with the EQ to see if we can get it closer. Okay, so with a quick mess, let's have a listen. This is the full-sized head. Here comes the miniature head. Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. That has definitely got us very close. It's worth saying that the EQ on the miniature head isn't going to react in the same way as the full-size head. It's different circuitry. It's different, like whatever you want to call it. It's engineered differently. However, the tone is very similar. You might just have to manipulate the EQ differently to what you would on a full-size amp, like I've demonstrated here. But with that in mind, that is very, very close. And now the full-size head. So the next thing I'm going to try is throw the tube screamer in front. So we'll start with the actual full-sized head just so you can hear how it reacts. And let's just hope that it reacts the very same way with the miniature head. Let's see what happens. So here is the full-size head, and then I'm going to stomp on the Maxon. Let's do it on the miniature head now. It takes pedals really well, and it sounds very similar. Yeah, it's good. I'm having fun with it. To be honest, I'm surprised considering it's so small and so different in its design, I suppose. Other than the tone is obviously meant to be as close as possible, but it's a 30-watt solid-state version, and it sounds powerful. All right then, so now let's try the Overdrive channel. So I've got my ML3 Beer Sig with the silo from Bare Knuckle, nice and grunty and modern and aggressive. We're going to hear the SLO Mini, and I've got everything set back to halfway, including the gain. I've taken the deep switch back out, and we're over on the Overdrive channel of the full-sized SLO. Everything's at halfway again. Gain is at 6. So what I'll do is I'll just push that to 6 as well. So let's have a listen, see what it sounds like. This is the mini head. Here comes the full-size head. So I just switched back to the mini head at the end there, but hopefully you can hear the differences. As I said, sounds darker, but I'm confident that we can get it sounding really close using the EQ. One thing else I noticed is we should put the deep switch back in just because it sounds nice and fat. So first thing I'd say is that the full-size head has a little bit, it's more scooped, it's got more sizzle in the top. So let me just mess with the EQ a little bit and see what we can get out of the mini head. Okay, so I've been messing with the EQ for the last couple of minutes, trying to match it with the full-sized head. And this is as close as I think I can get. But here you go. This is the full-sized head. Here is the mini head. Back to the SLO full-sized. Mini head. They both sound fantastic. I'm really impressed though by this little beast so far. So the next thing we'll do, keep the tones the same, but I'm going to throw on the tube screamer. So let's start with the full-sized head. Here comes the tube screamer. And here is the mini head without the tube screamer. Let's throw it on. I think I knocked the G string out. Again, very close. And I just want to keep reiterating that, you know, the 30-watt solid state version, which we're actually just using the line out here because, you know, it's solid state, you don't need to power a cab or anything. Whereas the, you know, the full-size head is running into a reactive load, so it's giving us what you'd expect to hear out of a cab, and it's working in that way. So very different in terms of what they are doing to achieve the tone. But at the same time, when you just mess with the EQ a little bit, it's worth saying there are drastic EQ options here to get us so close to the original, but you can get there, or you can get very close, should I say, and it takes pedals really nicely. It feels very similar. In terms of the sound and the style of the gain, they've nailed that as far as I'm concerned, but the feel, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Okay then, there we go. There is a look at the brand new Soldano SLO Mini head. What can I say, to be honest? It's tiny. It's so small and so light, yet it packs a punch like that. 30 watts, effects loop. It sounds very similar to the real SLO, as hopefully I've demonstrated in this video. Again, it's not going to sound exactly the same because it's a very different design of an amplifier, although the point is that it's achieving the same kind of tones. And I think that I've managed to demonstrate that in this video. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section below. Just a few minutes messing around with the EQ on this can get you really close. I think personally really close to the full-sized SLO all-valve version that I've got. I'm really impressed by that. You know, this thing, it's 269 euros, I think, or something around there, compared to sort of like 4,000, whatever, 4,000 quid or whatever it is. But with that in mind, I think fair play. I would say that obviously it doesn't have a foot switch, so you can't necessarily use the two channels in a gig application. You would actually have to go and physically press the switch. And I guess the only other thing is that the original has a blue LED and this one's got a red one, but that's, you know, we're splitting hairs now. All I'd say is that I think it's a really cool idea making a little mini head for something like the Soldano SLO, given the fact it's such an iconic amplifier, and they're quite hard to get hold of, especially because of their price. That being said, if you can get hold of one or you can try an actual one, I highly recommend you do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot to Soldano for sending this over for me to check out, and I really hope you enjoyed the comparison. I enjoyed making this video. I think it was pretty cool how close it got. But let me know in the comment section what you think. I'll link it in the description box below. And as always, please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy my content. But yeah, let me know what you think. Links in the description box. Like, subscribe, and share. I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.